Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Magical Witchy World TV. I am Star Ravenhawk,
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rhonda Allen.
and now on with the show. And thank you for
On
joining
with
us
the
here
show.
tonight.
It's a magical, witchy world. It's a magical, witchy world.
Woohoo! So excited. Hello,
Yeah, nice to
AC
have you here with us
Fisher.
tonight.
It, it is
All right.
so exciting. I'm so excited to have you here.
So excited to be here.
AC Fisher-Aldag. Yes. I wanted to just say, first of all, as we like to do with every guest on the show, we like to introduce you to everyone watching live or on playback. So I'd like to read through your bio first. So, A.C. Fisher-Aldag has practiced a folkloric magical religion from the British Isles for more than 40 years. She teaches about British Isle folk magic at conventions, festivals, and metaphysical stores. Her fiction book, Woman Afraid of Water, about a Celtic tribe in a modern setting, is coming out. Yay! There's the cover. Yes. March of next year. So seriously, right around the corner. You might see her at Yuletide running around with a horse skull on her head or at Beltane with flowers and fairies. AC lives with her family on a homestead near beautiful Lake Michigan. And you can visit AC Fisher Aldag online at acfisheraldag.com. And we will have that streaming throughout our conversation tonight. So thank you, AC, again for here.
Thank
Yes.
you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
We've been looking forward to having this conversation with you. So it's great to have you here. All right. So one of the first questions we ask everyone, because we never want to presume, because the pagan community is under such a big umbrella.
Mhm.
And so we all call ourselves different things or identify ourselves as different things. We're not all one dimensional or as people say. But also, um, what I've found is, especially since you mentioned you've been practicing basically over 40 years,
Mhm.
so you kind of I wanted to kind of give us an arc of what you called yourself as from when you began to where you are now. And it's not what the titles that people gave you, but rather what you called yourself or identified yourself as throughout your journey.
Oh. Well, we just, for at first, called ourselves just a family tradition of magic. And we don't really use the word witch because that was the
Mm,
word that the Anglo Saxon people put on us. So we don't really use that word. We'd use the word grok or gwithin. It's gendered language in
mhm,
Cymraeg, which is the same as Welsh. And we now call ourselves pagan because indigenous folkloric polytheistic nature religion is a mouthful. So
mhm,
pagan's
mhm.
a lot easier to say. Um, but we don't really use the word witchcraft, although I do participate in a lot of witchcraft stuff, events, and
Mhm.
whatnot. So, I'm not uncomfortable with the term, but it's not something that I would use out of hand.
Okay.
And
All right.
and
Sounds good. So you
mm,
right now you identify yourself as a pagan,
Yes.
basically. Okay, sounds great.
right on, right on. Um, now that we have a little background, we understand, as Star said and reiterated, that you've been in this practice 40 years. Tell us a bit about what brought you into this. What was the realization that this is who you are and this is the work that you do?
Well, back in the 80s when dinosaurs roamed the earth, long, long ago,
Long
Um,
ago.
I participated in a
Ancient
family
times.
practice for years before that with my family in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So let me do my handy Michigan map. Okay. This is
Yes.
the Upper Peninsula. We lived here. And there's a lot of
Wow.
Finnish people up there, as well as Cornish and Welsh people. And a lot of them held their traditions. A lot of them were miners and lumberjacks. And they held their traditions from the old country. And so
I know.
then we moved, Michigan map, about here, Kalamazoo. And I was kind of at sea because it was a huge city for me.
Right.
Not from
Right.
you guys from like New York and New Jersey, but for me it was like this enormous city because I went from living in an area with like a one room schoolhouse and living with just my family to like 40,000 people. I just thought this was huge. And I
Wow.
didn't know any other pagans. Then I met my husband and he practiced a shamanic tradition. Now remember that we were like 16 at this time, way back in the day. And so we started practicing essentially basic magic together. There's a little bit of religious aspect with it too. And then I was talking about it a little bit with a friend in college, and another friend overheard me and told me about Wicca, and there was this whole pagan community. So I
Mm.
went to Goddess Gathering in Ohio, and all of
Oh,
a sudden there's
wow.
500 million thousand pagans. Wow.
Yes.
We did not do the same practice as Wicca. We did more folk magic stuff. And so they wanted us to do a ceremony with them. And they said, well, go stand in the circle in the direction, the quarter of your zodiac sign. And I'm like, what? And they're like, okay, when were you born? October 11th. Okay, you're a Libra, and I kind of knew about that because they used to have a horoscope in the newspaper. Okay,
Mhm.
and then Libra is air, which is east. Go stand over there, and I'm like, okay. And that's how I was introduced to Wicca and other pagans.
Wow.
So I didn't really feel comfortable with that. We tried to adapt our traditions to
Hmm.
Wicca, and they kind of were not really a good fit.
Mhm.
And so I started teaching our ways in folk magic, and then I read up on it and learned a lot more about it and talked to other people and looked at a lot of old texts because there was this folk magic revival and everybody wrote down all the folk magic traditions in these books in the 1800s where it was like the primitive ancient traditions of the rude ancestral Celts.
Right. Wow. Right. Right. Right.
How it was. And if you once you get past that language, it's like, wow, they're doing really cool stuff. And some of it was, I remember doing this as a child, or I never heard of that
Mhm.
before. Um, the traditions in the British Isles are a little bit different no matter where you are in Cornwall or Isle of Man or Scotland or Ireland or what used to be all of Wales but now is England and then Wales
Mhm.
and then the coast of France, which is Brittany,
Mhm.
which a lot of Celts moved to during various conquerings. So they all do something a little bit different, but it's all very much the
Mm.
same. Like, for instance, Rhonda was talking about watching the Wicker Man
Right.
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And a lot of the traditions in that come from British Isles folklore tradition, but because it's a movie and it was a horror
Yeah.
movie, they made it all spooky. Like carrying death out of the village. You have these little kids chanting, "We carry death out of the village," and
Yes.
it's really big, scary, spooky thing. But there's a happy little song about that, and you decorate a branch and you put death on the old branch, and everybody beats up death. It's like a poppet, and then you put them in the
Right.
fire. And then you bring back life. You carry around the branch with little flowers and stuff on it, and everybody takes a flower, and that's like a talisman to carry you through the next 6 weeks into the next
Mm,
holiday.
okay.
So there's all
That
kinds
is
of nice
awesome.
little traditions like that, and there's acting out stuff, um,
Right.
which are called folk plays, and then there's a lot of solitary practice too. So we
So,
don't. Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No.
so if I understand correctly, then this truly is this is work that you've been exposed to since
Mhm.
birth, from family. I mean, as you
Yeah,
say, family
right.
tradition. And it expanded, or I'll say that you started doing some, really learning up about it after
Mhm.
you had some exposure later on. And that that's fabulous. I love that you're really leaning into your family tradition,
And your history. That's
that you're
awesome.
really leaning into that, your
Yeah.
history. Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
it's really being revived in
That's
the British
awesome.
Isles right now. Currently, they are doing various different traditional things for this time of year, but some of the folk plays and
Mm,
things have now been tourist attractions. So it
Mhm.
isn't just
right,
families
right.
participating in it. And there's some that are, literally 1,000 years old, and the same family's been
Mm,
practicing them, and they do it for a tourist attraction now.
Awesome.
yeah,
That's
So
good.
people come
yeah,
That's
to
great.
that's
You
the
know,
immerse
thing.
whatever
themselves.
works.
And there's a lot of it online because
Yeah.
somebody's grandma will be going, that's my grandson being the character, being the stag, being the
Hmm.
fool or whatever. And so they have all these like blurry grandma video camera things
Ah,
online so you can watch
That's
it, as
awesome.
well as
right,
documentaries
right.
and things like that.
Awesome. Awesome. So from my next question is, from your point of view, what does it mean to be a pagan?
Well, it's nature, spirituality, definitely,
Hmm.
and the use of
Hmm.
magic to enhance your daily life, and a reverence for the natural world. Some people revere gods and goddesses, as we do, but not everybody does. Theistic, meaning believing in goddesses, or non theistic. And um,
Hmm. Hmm.
it brings about a cohesiveness amongst people as well. So
Okay.
that's pretty much it.
Okay. Sounds great.
Right on, right on. So when you and you shared, how you came into this work, and it really is what you grew up with, and it's just expanded over the years, which is, as I think, the most reasonable way to go about it. It's not static, it's a living tradition. So you're expanding upon that. Tell us about how it currently fits in your lifestyle. How are you fitting this magic practice, I should say, into your day to day?
Well, we do a lot of devotions and thanking gods for various things. Like we have a little dinner prayer, thanking the gods and the animals that gave their
Mhm.
lives for the food. And we
Mhm.
do
Mhm.
something called a sleep circle. You conjure a circle around your bed so you don't have nightmares. And we
Oh,
give gifts to
fabulous.
spirits and fairies and people like that. We have a little
Mhm.
tree in the backyard. It's a rowan tree, an American hawthorn. It's
Right.
not the same as the rowans in Europe, but it's got berries on it and big thorns, and it's
Mhm. Mhm.
inhabited by fairies. And so we make little offerings under the tree and tie
Mm.
ribbons onto it to make
Fabulous.
wishes every new moon and
Nice.
full moon. I'm passing some of this along to my grandkids. I have great pictures of my grandson's shadow being the stag with antlers on his head, and he did this at
Wow.
Convocation, which is a big festival here that's in a hotel in the Detroit Ann Arbor area. So
Yes.
he did the stag hunt. He's 15 now, so little kids were all running around chasing him and hitting him with sticks. And he pretended
That
to
is
die,
awesome.
and then he got brought back to life. Um, my little granddaughter is not quite into it yet. I mean, she does some of the stuff, like for instance, she was born 2 days before Beltane, and
Mm.
so she thinks Maypole and the flowers and everything are all about her.
Hey, and rightly
I
so.
think that's off. I think that's
Rightly so. She
awesome.
can claim it.
Yeah. That's it.
But we're also
That's
passing
right.
it on to other people. It's not a closed tradition in any manner. You do not have to be from the British Isles or from that descent to
Mhm.
participate in it. People of all walks of life have participated in the ceremonies and really
Mhm.
enjoyed themselves. It's a very enjoyable, fun religion. I mean,
Excellent.
there's like more spooky, scary aspects to like contacting ancestors and dealing with some kind of the dark herbalism and stuff. But for the most part,
Mhm.
it's a really frolicsome, fun tradition. And if you look at some of these
Excellent.
folk plays online, they've modernized it too. Like one of the ones that's done at Yuletide now has Father Christmas or Santa Claus, which it didn't originally have. And in
Right,
some of them,
right.
they've had the bad guy be, like for instance, Margaret Thatcher instead of the old fashioned guy, which would be like a an evil knight, or
Right.
Margaret Thatcher.
yeah, or the orange guy. It would be the bad guy, and
Right, right,
there's a
right.
good
Oh my
knight who can
gosh.
play him. So it's evolved
Right
as
on.
time goes on. They have different characters and different meanings. And in some places in the
Love.
British Isles, when they do these folk plays, everybody in town knows it. It's like going to Rocky Horror Picture Show where you shout out the lines and you dress as the
Yes.
characters. That people will do that
Yes.
along with the plays, or they're all singing along with the music and cheering on the dancers and so forth.
That's
It's
So
great.
so
it's
lively. I
coming
It
love
sounds
back.
like
that.
fun. It does sound like fun. Okay, so could you tell us a little bit about what's become important to you right now,
What's
or
become
has been
important to
becoming
me?
important to you in general? Anything, you know, that you can say that's become very important to you? I know you said some things about your grandkids, your grandson, becoming more involved, but
Right.
your
Well,
granddaughter so much. Yeah.
I'd really like to pass these traditions along because they are fun and they are magical and they're very empowering.
Mhm.
So I wrote a book about them called Common Magic. I'll show it real quick. This,
Oh,
unfortunately,
fabulous.
from Llewellyn is now out of print, but you can still get it on Amazon. And it has a lot of the
Hmm.
traditions in it and how to go about them step by step. Um, they had a pretty good
Excellent.
run. It was like 5 years from Llewellyn, and now they're doing other authors. But I go to a lot of different events and try and do a folk play there or teaching about stuff. Magic 101 that can be fit into any tradition, Wicca or Asatru or anything. And I also do, just little things like herbalism and so forth. But then I try to fit in something from our tradition at every different gathering that we go to, pagan pride
So it's
days and conventions and hotels and outdoor camping festivals. And so I'm trying to pass this on to other people because you can fit it in a Wiccan circle, you can fit it into a full moon celebration as part of it, or
right.
it can be its own thing. And another thing that's really important to us is feasting. We got to eat that food. We got to celebrate the seasons with different foods at every season. So,
So
for
fabulous.
for Samhain, it's going to be dinner and a pumpkin. We eat meat, so we have like a beef stew, a really hearty beef stew,
Mm,
pumpkin cooked inside the oven.
Right.
wow.
It sounds
That
good.
sounds
Yeah.
We've
amazing.
actually taken
Actually,
some
it
of the
sounds
stuff when
amazing.
my kids were in school. We took it to the school as an ethnic thing more than a magical thing or religious thing, and all the kids were just
Right.
like, "Wow, this is so fun!"
Right.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So tell us about, you're sharing, I mean, all of these things because all the things that are important to you also have a line, if you will, or a thread connected to sharing and giving with others, sharing the traditions, bringing others along, making certain that none of these things are lost or die out, which has this line with community. So talk to us a little bit about what's important for you, or what you're doing with community at this point, or what's important to you with community
We
as a
used to
focus
do
or
a
focal
lot
point.
more because my husband and I now are older and we're both differently abled. So we used to do a lot more with. Um, we'd have like these all day celebrations, but we're kind of dialing
Mm.
back on that a little bit just because now we're old and tired. So, um,
Just.
what I would like to see in the pagan community is more self sufficiency, more
Mm-hmm.
people doing traditional healing, more people able to support themselves by growing their own food, by doing their own
Mm-hmm.
um, natural things, natural remedies, natural things. And we do demonstrate some of that at our home. We have a composting toilet and a
Mm.
wood burning furnace, and we just get
Mm-hmm.
waste
Mm-hmm.
wood from like tree companies that cut down trees that have fallen in a storm or that have gotten really old and ratty. So I
Mhm.
would like to see more self sufficiency because that too is very empowering. So, people being able
Absolutely.
to do things,
Absolutely.
handle money, support one another.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what
Right
I would
on.
like to try to see
Important.
happen a lot too,
Mhm.
Yes.
honestly.
Fabulous.
All right. So what would you like to see pagans or witches or Wiccans, whatever you want to call the different types of pagan subtext, what would you like to see us accomplish more?
That's a really good question. Um, Let me see. I would like to see more unity and fewer witch wars. Because even if we disagree
Huh.
on certain things,
Yeah.
um, I would like to see more people getting along. And it's like maybe I don't agree
Yeah.
with somebody's opinion or how they live their life or whatever, but I'd like to see us all get together. I think in the political situation right now, we can't afford to have all these little petty squabbles amongst ourselves. And I don't like
Mhm.
him because he does this, and I don't like her because she believes that. Well, the political people who are in opposition to our lifestyle, to I say
Yeah.
quilt bag because it's easier than LGBT, etc. I can't remember all the
Yeah.
initials, but
Yes.
I say quilt bag, which just incorporates all the initials.
Right.
But
Right.
anyway,
Yes.
there are people who are opposed to um, folks by how they live their lives and how they are oriented and so forth. And we cannot afford to be fighting amongst ourselves when there is a
True.
greater thing that we have to accomplish.
Yeah.
Also, we I say to my kids, you're the pagan ambassador to the world.
Yeah.
You have to go out there. If you go out there and act a fool and create chaos and do stupid things, they're gonna look at you and go, all pagans are like that.
Yeah.
So I try to
That's such
get
a good point.
Yeah. No, you're
kids and
right. You're right.
students to go out there and be polite and open doors and keep their grass mown and pay their taxes and you know help people with their grocery bags or whatever and do community service.
Mhm.
Like um my husband and I belong to Lions Club and we go do Kids Sight, which is helping children with glasses. We raise money through different fun stuff like a car show. And
Mhm.
this is not a pagan thing. This is an everybody thing. And then we go into schools and there's a special camera that the kids can look through and they can find out what's wrong with their eyes, like astigmatism or whatever. And that's a very dear thing to me
Right.
because I'm legally blind. I'm not wearing my glasses right
Mm.
now. They're dark and it just makes the camera glare. It just doesn't work.
Ugh,
But I would like
gotcha.
to see more pagans go out and join these civic organizations and then
Mhm.
help to mention that they're pagan.
Yeah.
And then that kind of demystifies and despookifies. And they're, wow, pagans are nice people. So and so helped me with this, and so did this civic project. And I think we need to do
Mhm.
more of that because we tend to get isolated. We'll do, like, for instance,
Yes.
a pagan food bank or a
Mhm.
pagan park cleanup. And I think we need to integrate more with the community to, the greater community.
Right. Right. The
That's
only
an
problem I
excellent,
think we
excellent recommendation.
yeah. No, that's a great idea, and I think in a normal world that would work. But right now there's so many otherings going on that I don't know. Some people are heading back into the closet because they're getting afraid.
Yeah,
They're
I
being
understand
othered
that.
into
Yeah.
different communities now, and I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
understand that, especially in a larger city.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
I
I
think people are being
really
able to do
believe
it more in the larger cities. In the
yeah,
smaller townships and stuff, people are having a hard time.
I believe that.
They're having
Um,
a hard time. Yeah.
yeah, maybe seek out other people who are like yourself in some way and volunteer as a group.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe volunteer in a group is someplace that's more accepting, like say a
Yeah.
um,
Absolutely. And
Quilt Bed Pride or Black Lives Matter or something that like
right, right.
tomorrow they're going to be doing the No Kings thing. We've
Mhm.
actually had people there's a group in Muskegon, Michigan, which is, okay, Michigan map. It's like here. It's kind of in the middle
Yes.
of the state. And they went to the Pride gathering and had their, cute witchy witch hats on and all kinds of
Mhm.
witchy stuff and mugs and T-shirts and all that. And they sold out and raised money for a
Yeah.
cause.
That's good. That's
So that
good.
was
I'm
a
glad.
great
Yeah.
way to integrate with the community.
Right, right. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's absolutely nice. And you're right.
Yeah.
The witch wars, I wish it
And
would
it's
stop, but
Yeah.
social media has made
yeah,
people into
that's the
what you
thing.
call, I call them computer trolls, of where they're able
Mhm.
to hide
Yeah.
behind their computers as
Mm,
cowards and just say whatever they want to say. And it's very damaging to the community. But
mm,
Yeah.
such is life, right?
yeah.
Yeah. That, yeah. One day, hopefully.
We'll work on it. We'll
um,
keep working on it.
yeah. That's it. We just keep working on it. So tell us about what projects you have coming up. You mentioned your book. More about your book that's coming out next year. But what projects you have coming up or thinking about doing?
Well, I actually have a series coming out. Woman Afraid of Water is the first
Fabulous.
in the series, but it's called the Americelts. And it's if the Celtic people had emigrated to America in the 1600s and completely held their culture in using
Wow.
sorcery, using sword fights, and all
Yes.
kinds of other Celtic things. And a sociocultural anthropologist is studying them. And in the course of that, she falls in love with a court bard. She finds out she can use magic and she gets embroiled in a blood feud.
Wow.
So
OMG. I have to,
there's lots of
this
culture clashing where these people who use magic, and as a consequence of being able to use magic, they can't use electricity because they clash with each other,
right.
and American culture.
Right,
So they
right.
That is
have,
so fabulous.
multiple marriage as the Celts did, and they have, matriarchy as the Celts did, and how that just doesn't really fit in with. Well, it's set in rural Indiana, so it doesn't really fit in with rural Indiana
Y-
so terribly much.
Right.
Right,
Let's
So,
right.
Woman
just
Afraid of
remind
Water is the
everybody.
first in the series, and there's going to be at least two more. So I'm working on that, and I am working on. I have a very old farmhouse that always needs attention, and we do a lot of self-sufficiency stuff like gardening and so forth. So my husband and I we're both, like I said, we're both handicapped. He uses a cane or a knee scooter, so we would just
Yeah.
Mhm.
manage to split. I think it was like 100 big logs, about yay big. We rented
Wow.
a splitter and split wood it'll last us for a month or two. So we're
Okay,
doing
good. That sounds
winterizing and farm stuff. And of course, there's all little cute rituals for that too. Thank you,
yes.
tree, for giving me life to give me heat. Um, and we're coming up on Samhain here, so we're having um, stuff to get ready for Samhain, which goes from the obligatory pumpkin patch trip
Mhm.
and the spooky house to some really solemn rituals that happen on Samhain to honor our ancestors and help spirits to
Right on.
cross.
That's
Um,
awesome. That's awesome.
if they want to hang out, that's fine too.
Yeah.
And we do
Right.
an ancestor vigil. We used to do all night, but we're getting up there in age, so we do it to midnight and call it good.
Well, that
And
actually that's
There you
really
go.
good because that's kind of in line with my next question, which was what events are you doing the rest of this year? But what about some things that you're doing this month? And you started talking about the Samhain vigils that you're thinking
Yes.
of doing. What else did you have in mind for Samhain?
well, a friend of mine owns Mother Moon in Saugatuck, which is a tiny little.
Mm.
It's like the size of my little studio here. It's a tiny
Wow.
little closet, but it's got so much magical stuff in there. I swear it's like one of those
Wow.
um, bending time and space
Yeah.
areas because she's
Locations.
got so
Yeah.
many books and so many crystals and so many neat things there. But anyway, she also has the Goddess Grotto at her home, which is an older
Oh.
farmhouse. And she always has Beyond the Gate, which
Mm.
is vigils and classes and pumpkin carving and a potluck and a bonfire and all kinds of
Nice.
stuff
Wow.
like that.
Yeah,
So
that
provided
sounds really
that,
nice.
We might go to Dia de los Muertos, which I'm probably pronouncing incorrectly. There's a town over that has a very huge Hispanic population and a huge Hispanic cultural group,
Mm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
do fun stuff all year long. So my grandson lives in this town, so we're probably going to go do that.
Oh,
So
Nice.
that's
fabulous.
the day after. But our own Halloween, we don't have a lot of trick or treaters here because we're way out in the boonies. Maybe the little kids
Mm-hmm.
in the neighborhood will come over, but it's still like a quarter-mile walk. So
Mm.
we might go to, speaking of outreach, we might go do the American Legion hands out candy in town.
Right, right.
So you
Awesome,
gotta have
awesome.
the candy. It's Samhain, you gotta have the
Yeah,
candy. Have the sweet
gotta have
stuff.
candy. I
That's
And
agree.
that's
talk
awesome.
to ancestors. Hi Dad, what you doing?
Yeah.
Um, my dad always has like pithy, deep, esoteric advice, like better change your water heater filter.
Oh my gosh,
It's gonna
right.
back up on you.
That is so cool. But at least you're connecting,
Yes,
and it's
yes,
the
yes.
appropriate
Yeah.
time.
Awesome, awesome.
It's the
Anything else the
appropriate
rest of
time.
this year that you have events wise coming up?
Not really. Next year is going to be the busy, busy one. We've got WitchCon and Convocation both in February. We've got Paganicon, which is in Minnesota, which is in March.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then my book comes out in March, and I am not sure what they have lined up for me yet. Probably going to a lot of bookstores
Yes.
and talking to a lot of non-pagans as well as pagans, and
Fabulous.
tell them a little bit about our culture. And we always bring some little thing along to do, like draw a face on the acorn, or we'll take thorns that have fallen out of the thorn tree and bind them together in a cross shape
Mhm.
with red yarn as a talisman. And just
Beautiful.
doing those little things with people make them feel like they're learning something and part of the
Right, right.
culture.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is awesome.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
awesome.
awesome.
So the rest of the year, I don't know about, but this year has been kind of grueling. We've had some health problems in our family, so right now I'm
Blessings.
just like, okay, let's split wood and
That's a
rest.
that's a fabulous idea.
That's
We're still
actually
in
a
the
very good thing to do. You need to,
Yep.
I'm not sure if we're doing anything for Yule. At Yule, we sometimes do the Mari Floyd, which is about the horse skull
Yes.
on your head.
Yeah.
It's talking horse skull, and he comes and talks to you and tells bad puns and
Yes.
sings songs. And this is an older Welsh Cymraeg tradition that I've done at a few gatherings,
Okay.
but we also do it in our own family. And the idea is if you can tell better puns, you keep him out. And
Ah.
if he tells better puns, then he gets to come in and drink all your booze.
Okay. Well, that you can
So
don't drink up all my booze. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Well,
All
I
right.
we have been scrolling your website so people know how to get a hold of you. Stay connected to find out when pre-orders available on the book yet, or is that coming up soon?
Not
Not
yet,
yet.
not
So that
no. In fact, the cover isn't even officially
okay.
released
So
yet. It's coming out from City Owl Press, which is a New York mainstream press.
fabulous.
Um, and so I need to go update my website. But if you look at it, it has a lot of pictures of British Isles folklore tradition. I have my blog, which has personal stuff from my life, but it also has a lot of traditional things in it, and fart jokes that
Hey,
are come for the fart
right
jokes.
on.
And I have stuff on there about what I'm doing, as well as a lot of the older traditional things. So there's a lot of free stuff on there,
Excellent.
a lot of articles, a lot of other things that are free that people can read or download, or whatever, about various traditional
Right.
Yes.
practices.
Yes.
And there's old timey pictures on there of people doing those
That's
practices, as well as more
fabulous.
recent
Yeah,
ones.
that
That's
sounds great.
awesome.
Awesome,
Well,
awesome.
we have to thank you and cannot thank you enough for spending so much time
Well,
with
thank
us and
you.
sharing as much as you did. I'm excited for your series to come out. I am, uh, uh, the-
Thank
you
you.
know, reading three
Absolutely.
books at a time anyway. So Love it. Love it. Love it. That is fabulous. I'm excited for that. Thank you so much, AC, for joining
Yeah,
us
thank you again
tonight.
so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having
Absolutely.
me.
It was
Absolutely wonderful
absolute
having you.
pleasure. Absolutely.
And Bra Naskalanguaf, which is Kemreg language for happy night before the new year, which is the same as Samhain.
Yes.
So happy Samhain and Bra Naskalanguaf.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we're just going to share a reminder about our past shows that you can always catch here on Magical Witchy World TV.
Okay. All right, all right. So before we get into
Woohoo!
the astrology,
Yes.
we forgot to mention that Shatan, who had what was her show called with the cryptids and
Oh,
everything?
Shatan's show. Yes, yeah.
I forgot what was
Names.
called, but
And
the
the
paranormals
Noir.
and stuff that she had, she
Yeah,
passed away
cryptid.
about a month and a half ago, and we wanted to thank her for being joining us on the show, um, and we wish her family and
Yeah.
everyone much condolences, and we just wanted to remind everyone about her. Um, and that we wanted to again say deepest and heartfelt condolences.
Condolences. And you all, if you haven't a chance to follow any of her shows, the
Yeah,
stories she would tell,
yeah,
come check out her shows. I am
yeah,
so happy to have met her, to have known her. I wish I had met her in person. I never met her physically in
yeah.
person,
I never
but
met her in
I'm
person
happy
either.
to have known her and
Yeah,
grateful for the time she shared with us
she
here
shared
at
with
Magic
us.
Witchy
Yeah,
World and the stories that she shared. I know her celebration is coming up shortly also. So for those who are going to,
yeah. So please check out her show that
yeah,
she had with us on this channel. Um, and we would love to have you at least check it out, see the stories that she told, and
yeah,
wish her well. Hey, traveler.
yes.
Okay.
Hail the
All right.
traveler, hail the
So
traveler.
on to astrology. Okay. In continuation with each sign, again, this is the horoscope for Libra season, October 2025, Samhain and Halloween month.
Yeah,
The horoscope for this month is all
yeah.
about fire, water, and the power to begin again. So we begin tonight with Gemini. Gemini,
Mhm.
with the sky activating both of the career related sectors of your chart, a very productive season awaits you. Your communication skills are on full display when your ruling planet Mercury headed into your work zone on the 6th. And this gave you the edge in every meeting. If you had
Mm,
it had you negotiating a deal, motivating your coworkers, or had you taking the lead in brainstorming sessions. The full moon on the 6th was divine timing for an evening out with your friends, which was especially true around October 6th because of the full moon in Aries. Up until October 13th, you could have been busy with meetings that were about wrapping up important projects for that you worked on between March 2023 and May 2025.
mm.
Okay, Libra is an energy that you feel very connected to this month. So as it activates the areas of your chart that rules pleasure, romance, and creativity. So the potential for true love accelerates when Venus floats into romantic Libra on the 13th. If you want to meet the one, put yourself out there. All right. Already, if you're already partnered, it might be time to pop that question. Okay. Just a thought. When it
Mm.
comes to your money, friend related expenses or investments may come up under review. Use the second half of the month to build toward joy linked income, such as passion projects. Okay. Later in the season, Venus graces the same part of your chart between October 19th and November 6th. And these are some of the best days of the year to focus on dating or romance, regardless of your status. Okay.
Mm.
If you need to make a point, the Mercury Mars conjunction on the 20th elevates your debate skills. This is when career planet Saturn helped you build something meaningful. And now all you need to do to succeed is give whatever you built one last push. Okay. And luckily, Mars travels through your work sector all season long, is going to give you the energy required to push forward some of your most important goals. Okay. And by the time the season comes to an end with the October 21st new moon in Libra, you could be reaping the rewards of your efforts by either closing a deal or receiving a raise. Career wise, major changes may occur in group settings or team projects. You're either stepping up as a leader or walking away from a misaligned dynamic. And the new moon could bring fresh opportunities related to performance, visibility, or creative risks. The new moon is also ideal for that date night, engagement party, or wedding. So, hinting at that pop the question thing.
Mhm.
Situation and your situation when the sun and your attention when the sun enters your work sector on the 22nd. And you may be forced to take the lead. So step up, okay? Mercury in Sagittarius on the 29th will challenge your ability to remain tactful.
Just
If you
saying.
want to maintain peace, choose your words carefully. Okay, just
Mhm.
a suggestion. For love life, if you're single, a romantic interest could emerge through a shared interest or creative space. So let joy, not pressure, guide your choices. Stay open but grounded. When it
Mhm.
comes, if you're in a relationship, conversations about children, creative goals, or long term dreams may surface. Focus on honest support rather than assumptions. So speak clearly and communicate properly. Health wise, emotional overload may cause tension or burnout. So reconnect to joy. Move your body, and say no to energy drains disguised as obligations. Okay. Reflection question: how can I maximize my unique talents and efforts to continue building a successful career trajectory? Think about
Mm.
that for yourself and what answer would you give to that? And your
Mhm.
mantra for this month: when I focus deeply on the task at hand, I'm able to get to places I would never even notice. So think
Fabulous. I
about
love
that.
that mantra. I love
All
that.
right. Okay.
So, for you Cancers out there, Libra rules your home and family sector. So, a lot of your attention will be in this area of your life more than usual. Family keeps you busy this month. The sun puts you in command at the home front, which you don't mind. Back to school season was in full swing when Mercury drifted into Scorpio at the October 6th full moon in Aries, and the days surrounding as you juggled both of those two aspects of your life, which had you keeping a low social and career schedule. That same day, the full moon casted a fatal glow over your career. So, career wise, the full moon could bring an intense public facing moment, whether it's a decision to resign, launch, or reset your image. It's time to honor your direction. Balancing work and home life had seemed like a challenge, but you've got this. As of the 13th, and the 13th had you redecorating your nest when Venus switched gears. As you focus on spending more time with family or your chosen tribe, you feel an energy of expansion, especially 2 weeks later when the October 21st new moon in Libra brings the promise of ease, flow, and even a deep sense of healing to your life. This lunar event is activating Jupiter in your sign, meaning that a new beginning connected to the possibility of abundance and success might reach you now. As a water sign with profound feelings, you can expect to peel even more layers of your being, arriving at the very core of your desires, Cancer. When it comes to romance, you can expect to feel very introspective, especially during the first part of the season between September 22nd and October 5th. We just came through that window. This is when the three planets, Mercury, Mars, and Pluto teamed up to help you realize that when it comes to love and intimacy, you're starting to form new views, non negotiables, and desires. If you are already partnered, this would be a time to have deep and intimate conversations. Your ability to go beyond the surface will be magnified. You'll have 4 weeks to update your decor, perhaps an early start on holiday decorations. So we're shifting back to that home situation. The best day to buy or sell a home is that new moon on the 21st. So if you're in the home buying situation, that is the start looking or to make that deal. The new moon invites a more emotionally intelligent way of working and sharing ideas. You can find the ideal home or negotiate a favorable deal around this time. And then also, romantically, expect a romantic boost when the sun wanders into the true love section of your chart on the 22nd. If you're single, this is a wonderful time to enter the dating scene. Communications wise, communications with your boss improves when Mercury dips into Sagittarius on the 29th, and there is no better time to negotiate a raise or promotion. Let's focus on Cancer. Shared financial responsibilities or family expenses may be a bit stressful, may be a stress point. So focus on clarity, boundaries, and finding emotional security in material decisions. For Cancers who are in relationships, this transit promises sweet autumn evenings snuggling with your honey in front of the fireplace. I love that scene. All right. So if you're single, you single Cancers, you're done settling. The energy now supports finding someone who, yes, who respects your boundaries and aligns with your goals. For those who are in a relationship, honest conversations about emotional labor and shared responsibilities are needed. So give your partner space to speak and yourself space to listen. Health wise, Cancer, fatigue may hit early in the month. Your nervous system needs a quiet little focus time, a little quiet time for yourself to recover. Focus on your gut health, on journaling, and clearing out any digital overwhelm. That's a little challenging for everybody. So, digital diet. Reflection question: what do I need to heal at the deepest level in order to expand in the direction of my dreams? That's a that's a question for everybody, but Cancer, what do I need to heal at the deepest level in order to expand in the direction of my dreams? And your mantra, focusing on what's most important to me feels endlessly liberating and soul enriching.
All right. And
Woohoo.
Leo, all right. Relationships, okay? All kinds of them will play a key role in your life. October could find you flitting from one errand to another due to your ruler, the sun, skipping through Libra. This is always a busy time of year for you, but you don't seem to have trouble managing, especially after Mercury moved next to Mars in the domestic section of your chart on the 6th. Your household was a hive of activity with you in Queen Bee mode or King Bee mode, whichever. The 6th was also dynamic, a dynamite for a long distance getaway if your schedule allowed it. The full moon was high in the sky on that day as well, illuminating possibilities for faraway adventures. The entrance of Mars into the sun, the sign of Scorpio, heralded a bi-yearly time during which a lot of your focus is on your home and family. During the time, during that time, Mercury and Mars activate Pluto between September 23rd and October 9th. Deep conversations may have occurred between you and a family member or maybe a romantic partner. Either you or someone close to you might have been setting different types of boundaries for your relationships. And I'm hating to say this, but familial boundaries are a must. Please. I
Mm-hmm.
hear so many
Yeah.
stories about devastating lines being crossed and destroying families. So please, boundaries are a big deal
Yeah.
at this time for your
Mm-hmm.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And the more both parties can open up, the better the foundation for the relationship will be moving forward. Alternatively, you could be working on a deal or business partnership that seeks to empower your position in your industry. After all, Libra rules your third house of communication, which means that you will be doing a lot of talking, listening, and perhaps even negotiating. Since this is
Mm.
a year during which you are gaining a lot of spiritual knowledge or experience, you could be in for an epiphany towards the end of the month. You can speak the language of love fluently when Venus changed signs on the 13th. So please do translate. It's the ideal transit for flirting or writing long summits. If you need to negotiate, you can find the sweetest words as well. This aha moment could arrive when you expected it the least via a dream or a symbol or message that so pay attention to the subtle sensations you run into and around October 16th. Watch your spending when the sun squares Jupiter on the 17th, which was what today, right? Yeah.
Right.
You could
Mm-hmm.
deplete your resources if you're not mindful then. And the two powerful lunar events that occur this season, the October full moon as well as the October new moon on the 21st, speak of times of busyness and communication related activities. Your career, a chapter around education, publishing, or a big picture project may close around the full moon, may have closed around the full moon, and after the 21st, you may begin working on something more private or family oriented. Prepare to be in charge of family gatherings when the sun shift gears on the 22nd. It's also possible you'll be responsible for major decisions regarding loved ones as well. No worries, you've got this. When Mercury
Mm-hmm.
darts into your true love zone on the 29th, you will be able to express what's in your big, beautiful heart. Whether you're having a sensitive conversation or popping the question, you can do it with grace. Money wise, expect changes in how and where your money goes. You may shift from spending on fun to investing in a long-term tools or support systems. Love, if you're single, you're attracted to people who offer depth and emotional safety. So look for grounded conversations and shared beliefs. If you are already in a relationship, you and your partner may talk about home life, plans for relocation, or shared beliefs. This is a chance to kind of reconnect spiritually and practically. Health wise, detox your environment physically and emotionally. Watch out for overstimulation early in the month. Restore your energy throughout and ground yourself in different types of rituals. Reflection question: how can I express my deepest needs and boundaries while still feeling a true sense of empowerment? Again, that boundaries
Mm-hmm.
part is a big deal for you guys this month. Mantra: when I pay attention to the subtle energies around me, I find magic moments everywhere. That's so beautiful. I like
Awesome.
that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Right on. Let's jump to Virgo. Virgo, your horoscope for this month. The sun in your second house at the beginning of October indicated greater earning potential. You could attract more of the green stuff, which helps to fatten your bank account, right? Everybody loves that. So, yes, in Virgo, definitely about the business. However, you had to keep an eye on your budget on the first when your ruler Mercury squared Jupiter. It's too easy to blow through your stash if you don't pay attention. Speaking of Mercury, the trickster planet enhanced your communication skills when it bounced into Scorpio on the 6th, enabling you to explain complex ideas clearly. Financial opportunities could change your situation for the better, and a quick glance at current spending habits could help trim the fat. Definitely eye on the bank. Let's jump to career. All right. Important truths about partnership come into focus around the 7th. You may be ending a contract, redefining a collaboration, or stepping into more balanced teamwork. You'll appreciate a leaner budget when Venus enters your money zone on the 13th. Between Virgo, between September 22nd and October 13th, you may have implemented certain changes, and they may have included expressing your desire for adjustments to your boss or to colleagues. While that transit attracted cash, it was also a big spender. So I hope you were sticking to your budget And you'll also need to keep that money safely tucked away. This is a theme for you, Virgo, for this month. In a way, Libra season is a continuation of what was set in place in September, Virgo. Eclipse season, which occurred during your birthday season, was incredibly eventful and helped you realize that certain life changes are imminent. Since one of the themes of Libra season is self empowerment, you are bound to feel it in the area of your life that rules work as well as daily routines. Along these lines, you might need to make changes to your own daily routine as a way to feel more energized and empowered, whether that is eating healthier, exercising more, or meditating more often. Ideally, you're striving for more balance in your life, especially because you're in a process of personal transformation. If these conversations are about money or shared resources, days between October 19th and November 6th could bring good news or positive energy your way. The new moon in Scorpio is ideal for launching content, communication projects, or negotiation. If you are romantically committed, this lunar event could represent an ending in the way that you relate to one another, making room for a new beginning to be born in your relationship. 2 weeks later, on the October 21st new moon in Libra. New revenue streams, back to the money theme again, new revenue streams, Virgo, appear with the new moon on the 21st. Let's go deeper into them. It's time to redefine what you're worth and ask for it. Don't wait for validation. The new moon helps you set financial goals rooted in clarity. These could manifest as new jobs, money making ideas, or a fresh side hustle. The sun's entry into the short travel section of your chart on the 22nd could put you on the road for a few weeks. I love road tripping, but it could put you on the road, Virgo. Mercury in Sagittarius on the 29th amps your restless side, making you more interested in roaming than staying home. So happy trails, all right? To the love stories. Now, for you single Virgos, the full moon may bring closure with someone who never quite matched your emotional. From the 21st, new beginnings open with those who value your voice. If you're in a relationship, major conversations occur this month. Be real, even if it feels uncomfortable. This is how trust grows. When it comes to health, focus on mental and emotional clarity. Simplify your schedule, set limits on how much you take on for your health's sake. Your reflection question: which personal needs are more important for me to prioritize in times of personal happiness? And your mantra: when I cultivate an authentic feeling of abundance, my whole life feels richer. That's
Yeah,
fabulous. And I love
yeah,
that. Now,
absolutely.
of course, we got to jump to
Tarot
the
time.
card. Tarot time.
All right, Rhonda,
So,
what should we do? What should we pull? What
what
card are
should
we
we
pulling
focus?
tonight? What are we pulling it on?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go with it. My head was all around. Well, let's just talk about. We're in Samhain season. We're getting close. We're getting close. The veils are definitely already thinning. So I'm just using this card to say, what are the messages that are already coming through? We're not at Samhain, so I'm not asking about the ancestors, but what are some of the messages that you're already receiving? What are the messages that are coming through for you right? So I'm just going to ask
All
this
right.
as a clarifier. What are some of the messages coming through for you right now?
All right.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, I'm just going to say this because I'm just going to
Okay, so what did you get?
work tonight with the light seers, and this is
Okay.
judgment. And look at spirit.
All right. Okay.
Oh my gosh. So you can't even make that any clear. This for me is just a validation that the when I look to messaging from spirit, and I work with my guardians, guides, angels, ancestors, and all my helpful sacred dead. So
Right. Right.
I'm not inviting in the boogie band. I'm inviting my helpful sacred dead. Well and elevated well and elevated sacred dead, okay? Helpful sacred dead. So this just validates for me that spirit is around, very much around, and that when spirit engages me in delivering messages or communicating things to me, it is indeed to help me to do the one thing, to elevate.
Right.
It's to elevate, it's to take me, it's to really to help to push me along, help guide me along in my own spiritual journey. So the messaging for me right now that we're in this season is to, yes, spirit is around and they're here to help me, you know, elevate.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. And for me, I have got the Knight of Wands. And look at him.
Ooh.
Still with the my deck, the Witch's Tarot. I always have this deck. I love this deck.
Yes.
So if you
Love,
look at
love.
this, look at him.
Mm,
He is forging
beautiful
forward.
card.
He is creative. He's bringing everything with him, and he's sure, and he's, to me, everything, like heading forward to do what he has to do. And to me, I'm literally pushing to move forward with things. And so to me, this is telling
Yes.
me, you go, girl, get it done, get it done.
Yep. Get
Jump
it
on it.
done. Get her
you know
done.
just think
Get her
carefully and
done.
be creative about things. And we're in that
Yes.
time where they're talking about negotiating and all those things, and I'm like, yeah.
Yes. This is important. This is
Yes,
important.
absolutely.
I like that. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
guys, anybody watching? It's Samhain season. The veil, like I know we say it all the time, and it's maybe a little oversaid. The veils are thinning. Blah 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 blah.
yeah.
But you know, if you are looking to receive messaging, get your cards out
Start doing
and
some
see
things,
what.
start doing some things, and
Yep.
get some messages coming to you. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So next
Right
week, our
on.
guest will be Glenn Laycock with October 24th.
Yes.
And
Right
Rhonda, I
on.
would like to thank everyone in the chat who's with us tonight or on playback, and we want to thank our guest AC Fisher-Aldag for being with us
Yes.
tonight. It was such a pleasure meeting and speaking with her. So we want to thank her. And Rhonda,
Yes, please like, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate your giving us your feedback, connecting with us. I spoke with a few people just this week in a class that I run that have been watching the show and they learned about everything else from watching our show. So I was
awesome,
excited.
awesome. That's nice.
Thank you all for sharing that. I
Yes,
really appreciate it. So yes, like,
we like the
subscribe, and share.
feedbacks. We thrive on
We love the
feedbacks.
feedback.
All right.
Please.
Okay. Have a wonderful night, everyone, and we will see. Oh, and full new moon is coming up on the 21st, so look
Yes.
forward to that. And
Yes.
see you guys on the 24th.
See you on the
Thank you.
24th. Have a
Have a
great week,
wonderful
everyone.